I want to talk today just a little bit about filling out an application. This is going to be for people that are looking for a job and that sort of thing. As a staffing company in Tulsa, we work all the time with different people, so we have a lot of different applications come in, and some of them are really, really great, some of them are average, and some of them are really, really, really poor. But let me tell you something. Either way, it tells a whole lot about a person on how they fill this thing out. And our receptionist is actually a really good key for us, because she'll let us know when this stuff doesn't look great. And so I'm going to go over 5 things that I think are very important for people to consider when filling out an application. Try to do it real quick for you, but these 5 things are really going to help you. So let's get started. Number 1, you need to make sure that you have all of the essential information that you need to be able to actually fill out the application. So I think a lot of people forget this, that when you go in to an interview, you're probably going to be asked to fill out a job application, and they're going to ask you the address of the place that you work. They're going to ask you your exact dates of employment from a place that was probably 3 or 4 years ago at least. A lot of people are going to ask for at least the last 10 years. So you're going to have to remember those dates of employment. You're going to need to remember your supervisor, the company's number. Think about all these things that an application asks. You need to make sure that you have that information with you whenever you come and fill out an application. So this is what we get a lot of times. We'll have people write on their application over the whole top of it. It's crazy when they do it, because the application is something that's very important to us, but they write "See resume" on there. Well, here's the thing. "See resume" does not tell us all the stuff that we need. That application is actually a document that is a legal document. And what you write on there is really important for your employer. It doesn't matter what employer. In fact, if you have an employer that allows you to write "See resume" on there, I highly recommend you quit or you don't accept that job. And the reason is because they have no ideology about legalities. They are not running a very good company there. They have no idea what HR is if they're allowing you to write "See resume." So, but the next thing is, it makes you look lazy. That's all that we can think of. This is not somebody we want to be dealing with, because rather than taking the time to fill this thing out, what they're doing is they are doing shortcuts, and they haven't even started working for you yet. What happens when you have people that do shortcuts all the time? You know what happens. They're really poor employees. So if you're an employee and you think this is a great idea so it saves you time, other people are going to perceive you as lazy. They're going to perceive you as somebody that will cut corners, and you're not going to be somebody that you're interested in. So make sure that you bring your essential information and that you have an actual desire to reveal that information on the application. It's going to be really important for you. The next thing is, number 2, is to print clearly. I can't tell you how many applications that we go on and it is just sloppily written out. And that says a whole lot about you to the people that are looking at this information. And about once a week, our staff will look at the information that has been given to them on application, and they'll be like, "Wow, this is just sloppy." The thing is their doctor's handwriting is sloppy. My handwriting is sloppy. But I know when to take the time to write things out where it looks right. Okay? This is something that really successful people do. So when you're filling out that application, you're wanting to impress somebody. I have horrible handwriting, but if I'm going to write something to one of my customers that I want to impress, trust me, I'm not going to sloppily write it down, because it's going to say a whole lot about me. Don't do that. Make sure that you take time to fill out an application properly and clearly, and that it looks good. It's a representation of you, and you're trying to represent yourself well We hope. But if you are, writing and printing clearly is going to be very important to you. It's not a huge thing, but it can be a huge thing if that person that's viewing it looks at that and is like, man, I don't want to work with somebody that's their quality. You want to present yourself as quality. Make sure you write clearly on your application. Number 3, fill in all the blanks. We always, the people that are looking at your application, they know that thing like the back of their hand because they're looking at it all the time. And when you do not fill out all the blanks, it frustrates them because they know from their management that they need to get all of that filled out. Remember, I told you earlier, this is a legal document. Well, you can't just leave stuff blank because either you forgot or you didn't see it or whatever. So before you finish filling the thing out and go hand it in, look over it and make sure that you haven't missed a blank. And to the employees, a point for the employee is that there's probably at least 100 different blanks on there, and people may not intentionally leave something blank. We understand that because there's 100,000 things on every application. But the thing is the people that are the best people and the people that are quality look over that, make sure everything's filled out properly, and they make sure that all of their blanks are filled out properly. And they definitely don't write "see resume" over the entire beef part of the application. So make sure that you fill out all the blanks. The person that's viewing it is going to have an opinion if you don't. And so I really think that'll help you. Number 4, be positive. Who doesn't want to be around a positive person anyway? But let me tell you something. One half of the people that we actually meet with, I swear to you, I know it sounds crazy, but I swear to you, they come in and they're negative. You ask them why they left a position, they tell you all these horrific things about their previous employer. And then you ask them about their position previous to that, and they tell you all the horrible things about their previous employer. Well, when you do that 3 or 4 times, 3 or 4 employers back, and every employer, there was a big, huge problem with the employer, do you see the common denominator there? The problem may be you. And it may not be you, but it may be just your outlook that day and you're being negative. So on your application, when you're saying reasons why you left the position, I would highly recommend that you not list every negative thing that you thought about that employer. It may say to your potential next employer, hey, this person's a complainer, this person doesn't get along well with management or people in general. And that may not even be the case with you. But if that's your attitude that day and you exemplify that on your application, it's written. People are going to look at that. And as a staffing company, when our clients ask us, so why'd they leave each position, sometimes if we forgot to ask in the interview, which I hope that's not the case with most of our recruiters, but sometimes it may happen, we might go back to the application and see. Make sure that you're writing something where you're not being negative. You know, the reason why you left each position, there's going to be a reason why. But make sure that you're not overly negative on that. It may say something about you, and I don't want you to portray yourself in the wrong way. The last point is just do it right. Just do it right. If you don't take my advice on this with the applications, maybe you should in just general life. Like, just do the right thing. You know, if it takes you a little bit of extra effort, do it right. Just do it right. If you do these 5 things, it is going to help you out so much. Good luck.